Yo, my name is Franco, and today I'm going to be showing you the difference between gaming chairs at different price points. This video is probably going to be a long one, but I'm going to do my best not to waste your time or make it longer than it needs to be. As usual, there's going to be chapters in the timeline, so if you want to jump around the video or reference it at a later point, that should help. I want to start off by giving some info for context, and I want to answer the question, who is a gaming chair good for? But if you want to skip to the beginning of the chairs, boom, click the chapter and skip this part. Okay, first thing that you have to know is I'm not going to be going super deep into each chair. I'm not reviewing each of these chairs. My purpose isn't to tell you which chair I think that you should buy or which brand. My intent is to highlight the differences between a chair that's $100 and one that's $500. What sort of features are you missing and what sort of things improve as you go from the cheapest option to the more expensive ones? And is it worth it? That's what I want you to learn from this. But that being said, if you're interested in buying one of these specific chairs, there's going to be links to them down below, and some of those links might be affiliate links which support the channel. Now, I understand that not every chair that's $200 is exactly the same, but I think that we can get a general idea of what you can expect as you move up the price ranges. So, who is a gaming chair good for? Some people might answer that question with the ridiculous idea that gaming chairs are good for nobody. Go to Reddit and look at a photo on PC battle stations or something, and if the person owns a gaming chair, I'm almost willing to bet money that in the comments you'll find someone talking about how bad gaming chairs are for you and how your back is gonna break and it's not good for posture and ergonomics. And if you watch that Gamers Nexus video, then you've heard about how they're all made from the same factory and have no innovation, are uncomfortable and cost little to make but are sold for much more. And I think that this is all absolute opinionated, biased bullshit. First off, everything you buy is marked up. That's literally how businesses work. You make something for X and you sell it for Y, which is probably higher. The idea that office chairs are not marked up as well is just silly. At the end, they even put out a disclaimer that they are not experts in ergonomics and to seek professional opinions. Well, that's pretty damn convenient because I'm a physical therapy assistant in the Army and that kind of stuff is my actual professional job. Ergonomics is an individual thing. What is ergonomic for one person is not automatically ergonomic for all people. I mean, I could rant on this for an entire video, but let's just answer the question. Buy a gaming chair if you are a bigger person and want more rigid support. Buy a gaming chair if you want a highly adjustable armrest to accommodate multiple arm positions while you're gaming, or if you lack an adjustable desk to compensate for arm positioning. Buy a gaming chair if you want a chair that allows you to sit in lounging positions, and by that I mean reclining all the way back to you're almost laying down or kicking your legs up or taking a nap, things like that. Now, you should not buy a gaming chair if you need maximum breathability because mesh is probably what you want and gaming chairs don't usually come in that material. Don't buy the style if you need highly adjustable features like seat depth or back support that forms to your back. A gaming chair supports your back. It doesn't take much to support your back. You lean against something and if it's there, your back is being supported. Mission accomplished. But if you want something to conform to your back or you want to just adjust the amount of support that it's giving you, then mesh or higher end office chairs are what you want, but those are also usually more expensive. This is simplifying a pretty complex subject, but aside from these big points, most everything else is just finding a chair that fits for you. If you try a gaming chair with aggressive wings in the seat and it doesn't allow you to spread your legs, and it's not the gaming chair that sucks, it's just not the chair for you in your body size or body shape. It means the chair's too small or the brand's design isn't right for you. Contrary to popular belief, these chairs aren't all the same. If you have broad shoulders, then you shouldn't get a chair with aggressive shoulder wings. This is tough to judge because you can't just try them before you buy most of the time. Ideally, you would find a store that has a bunch of different styles of chairs, you go sit in them and you find what works best for you. But that's where YouTube videos help. Ideally, you can find a video of the chair with someone sitting on it or with multiple people sitting in it. This is something that I always try to do with my videos. So hopefully I've answered this question of should you get a gaming chair, or at the very least I've given you a solid starting point to answer the question yourself. If you do have more questions though, drop a comment below or ask me on Twitch where I stream 3 days a week. All right, chair time. I'm going to be evaluating these chairs on their looks, comfort and ergonomics, build quality, and features. And by features, I mean anything extra that it includes, the adjustability, the support, and that kind of stuff. Some of these things are subjective, so you may disagree, but it is what it is. First up, we have the $100 price point. This chair is essentially the cheapest chair that I could find on Amazon, which resembled a typical gaming chair. This price point is a weird one, and you get the sense that they are all kind of the same chair, just reskinned and sold by different retailers. They'll also randomly go out of stock and never return, and most likely you're not getting very fast shipping. It was tough to find a chair that still stuck to around the $100 price range after they included shipping. A lot of times the chair would be under $100, but the shipping would be anywhere from 20 bucks to even sometimes 100. For looks, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. The chair looks like a gaming chair, nothing flashy, nothing that really sets it apart. You'll get color options at this price point, but nothing too cool really. The reason why I gave it a 2 is because in person, you can just tell that it's cheap by the looks. The material isn't pulled tight in certain spots and it looks a bit flimsy. For comfort and ergonomics, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. Initially, this chair isn't really uncomfortable, but the thin cushioning becomes more uncomfortable over time. When buying a chair at this price point, you don't get as many options in terms of size. They tend to be a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and by one size, I mean small to medium. If you're bigger in width, weight, or height, you'll most likely struggle finding a chair that fits you properly in this price range. Another thing to note with cheaper chairs such as this one is that the frame of the chair is very noticeable. You can see and feel the metal framing, and the chair almost feels empty with a fake leather cover pulled somewhat tight over it. If you're pushing the size limitations on these cheaper chairs, you'll likely feel your body pushing against the frame and it won't be comfortable over time. For build quality, I'd give it a 1 out of 5. Something you'll probably hear me say a lot is that the more expensive the chair, usually the easier the assembly. This chair was a nightmare to put together. Tons of bolts, nothing came pre-assembled, and putting it together required a lot of holding parts in just the right spot. Even the base had to be put together, which really makes me wonder about the durability of it over time. At this price point, you'll likely see more damage over time as nothing really feels like it's built to last. The wheels are nothing special, but they didn't have much of an issue with my carpet. I wouldn't say that this particular chair is very noisy, but I'd bet that after a year or so, you'll notice it more and more. Most things here will be made of plastic or basic metal that feels simple and very hardware-like, almost like I built it out of parts available at a hardware store, not parts that were custom made for this product. For features, I'd give it a 1 out of 5. Now, when I say features, I mean adjustability, extras, and so forth. A chair in this price range will have basic adjustability such as height, reclining, or rocking. The controls are clunky, but they get the job done. The biggest problem with cheaper chairs like this is the lack of adjustability in the armrest. They don't move at all, which is a nightmare. For gaming, this means that you're going to have to make do with the positions provided by default, and you won't be able to adjust it ergonomically to your setup. I'd almost prefer to just take them off, which is possible. The lumbar and head or neck support is accomplished by external pillows attached by straps. The pillows will likely be low quality and lack adjustment. My total score for this price range is 6 out of 20 with an average score of 1.5 out of 5. Look, I get it. Everybody has a budget and gaming equipment is expensive. I can relate to spending all of your money on a console or building a PC, then realizing, oh shit, I have to buy a monitor, keyboard, and mouse as well. Then you get to that and you think, oh shit, I need a desk and a chair too. Unfortunately, a chair often lands way down on the bottom of a list of priorities, and if you're strapped for cash, then I can see why a $100 chair could be the option that you go with, but I do not feel like I can recommend a gaming chair at this price point. I haven't tested an office chair of the same price, so it's hard for me to say which to go with, or if you should go with that instead, but buying a chair used might be a better option at this price point. And if you have no choice because of your budget, then do what you gotta do. Hopefully this just prepares you for what to expect. At the $200 range, we have a chair by Hope Racer, which sells for $179, and a chair by Neo Chairs, which sells for $229. I just happen to have two chairs in this price range, so it better illustrates what you get at this price range. For looks, I would give this price range a 3 out of 5. Now, let me just say this first. If the Spider-Man chair was the only chair being considered, then it'd be an easy 5 because that chair is so damn cool, and I've done a full review of it. The point is that when you get to this price range, you're going to notice more options in terms of designs as well as fabrics. The Hope Racer is cloth, which I prefer to fake leather, and the Neo chair is an example of the cool designs that you can find if you know where to look. The finish is noticeably better than the $100 chair, but it's still missing some of the finer details that you get with the more expensive chairs. For comfort and ergonomics, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Again, you get a few more options in terms of sizes, and the comfort of the padding is noticeably better. The biggest pitfall of lower priced chairs, even at the $200 range, is that they really push the racing chair design features such as the aggressive wings in the seat and shoulder area. These wings limit the amount of movement that you can do in the chair, and if you push against it because you're either too big or you're trying to adjust or just trying to sit in an alternative sitting position, it's going to be uncomfortable because the frame is very hard and unmoving. The cushions feel like they'd last longer, but you still get the feeling that they may not last as long as you would like. For build quality, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Chairs at this price range still require an annoying amount of assembly. The stability is a bit of concern, and most of the chair is made from plastic, including the base, armrest, and the controls. The wheels are again simple, but handled carpet well. It's a step up in build quality over the $100 chair, but you still get the sense that the chair is made of cheaper quality parts and a little too much plastic. You'll still notice some play in the chair in various ways when it's locked in place, but that's kind of just normal for gaming chairs in general. For features, I would give it a 2 out of 5. The big difference here is more adjustability in the armrests. They aren't fully adjustable like the more expensive chairs, but at least they have some adjustability. Lumbar and neck support is still achieved through pillows, but they are more comfortable and more adjustable. It's still lame that you need external pillows for this, but it is what it is, and it's common in the gaming chair design. The chair still has normal adjustability in terms of height and reclining or rocking. My total score for this price range is 10 out of 20 with an average score of 2.5 out of 5. This is a weird price point for these chairs. You're definitely getting higher quality for the extra money, but the jump doesn't quite feel substantial enough for the extra $100. I think if you were on a budget, you'd get your money's worth, but you'd have to understand the quality is going to be a bit lacking. You may also run into warranty and customer service issues with companies that are selling cheaper chairs. At the $300 price point, we've got a chair from eWin, the Champion series, which sells for $309 with frequent sales and discount codes, including my own. I've done a full review of the chair, so check that out for more details. For looks, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Chairs at this price point are where lots of coloring and design options are available. The reason I'm not giving it a 5 is that it's still a pretty generic racing style look with nothing to really set it apart. The fake leather looks nice and well made without a cheap appearance though. You can also find themed chairs similar to the Spider-Man chair in the last price range. We also start to see more cloth variants instead of fake leather all the time, which I'm a huge fan of. For comfort and ergonomics, I would give this a 3 out of 5. In my opinion, there isn't a huge comfort or ergonomic difference between the $200 chairs and the $300 chairs. They mostly have the same level of adjustment, with the difference mostly lying in build quality of the adjustment controls. This is not where you're getting your money's worth when moving to the $300 price point. That's not to say that comfort is bad, it's just not a huge improvement. For build quality, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Now we're getting to metal components and easier assembly. They still feel a bit cheap, but definitely noticeably better than the $100 and $200 chairs. The chairs feel more stable in the base, and I don't feel like I'm gonna break them if I move too fast. They still leave a bit to be desired though. You can still feel the metal frame of the chair when you squeeze the edges, and some of the hardware is still plastic. For features, I would give it a 3 out of 5. We are still in pillow support land, and I hate it. The pillows continue to get better in quality, but they're still not ideal. The typical adjustments for height and tilt are here, of course, but we start to add in more armrest adjustability. Warranty is getting better, but I still hear complaints about customer service for companies in this price range. My total score for this price range is 13 out of 20 with an average score of 3.25 out of 5. While this isn't a huge improvement over the $200 price point, I think that this price point is the most value and bang for your buck. If someone wanted my opinion on how much they should spend on a chair while staying reasonable, I'd say that $300 is good. You can find chairs with decent features, decent designs, and stylings, and there are more size options for larger people. Are they the best? No, but they're decent enough that they should last you for a while. Any lower than this and you start to make larger compromises. In the $400 price range, I'm going to be looking at the SL5000 from Vertigear, which sells for $389, and the Secret Lab Omega, which is $359. For looks, I would give this price point a 5 out of 5. The chairs that you can get for around $400 are going to have a lot of color and design options, lots of material options, and that material is going to be of higher quality. You don't just feel the difference in this quality, it's visible as well. well. On the Vertigear, the leather is textured and has a rugged feel to it without being abrasive. If my cats tried to claw this material, I wouldn't be surprised if their nails actually broke or something. It feels durable and high quality. The Omega has so many cool design options, and the quality is also visibly very obvious. The design is still racing chair styled, but it is a little more mature looking, if that makes sense. There are flashy options, but you can also get more subtle designs that wouldn't look completely ridiculous in an office setting. For comfort and ergonomics, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Here's the weird thing about this price. What I'm seeing is that at this price point, these chairs are usually the smaller sizes for the higher end brands. For some reason, this usually equals more aggressive racing style designs like wing shoulders and aggressive wings in the seat portion. If you are small, this should be fine because you probably don't have super wide hips. If you're bigger, they'll feel a bit more restrictive. I'd love to see these smaller chairs with more open, less restrictive designs. That being said, they are very comfortable with a high quality cushion that probably won't go flat in a few years. Aside from the wing design, the reason I don't give this price point a 5 out of 5 is that you're still going to be dealing with pillows for lumbar and neck support. Although the pillows are of much higher quality, and the Omega lumbar pillow is possibly the best lumbar pillow I've ever tried. For build quality, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. The build quality here is fantastic. Metal components, simplified assembly, improved internal components, and as I mentioned earlier, the fabric or leather material is softer while being more durable. The packaging for these chairs is also noticeably better. Stitching is improved, and when you squeeze the edges, you don't immediately feel the metal frame underneath. This gives you more edge support as well. These are quality, well-built chairs, and the difference is huge when you compare them to the chairs at the lower price points. This is why it's so frustrating to me when people say, just buy a $200 chair, they're all the same and you can't tell the difference. That couldn't be further from the truth. It's so plainly obvious when you see them in person. For features, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. And it's the pillows, man, I hate them, but at least they're nicer. The adjustability in these chairs is comparable to the previous price point, fully adjustable armrests, height and tilt adjustments with tension adjustment as well. The difference with them is mostly in build quality. The armrests lock in place as opposed to being loose and adjustable with accidental bumps from your elbow. There's a wall for adjustability with gaming chairs. They just don't have seat depth usually, or different things that certain office chairs do have, but this price point has all that gaming chairs have to offer in terms of adjustability, with more refinement than the cheaper alternatives. My total score for this price range is 18 out of 20 with an average score of 4.5 out of 5. These are premium chairs, and if you're a smaller or a medium-sized person that wants a premium chair, then you should be shooting for this price point. $400 is a lot of money for a chair, but you're gonna get what you pay for, and you'll thank yourself for the investment in your back and overall comfort while at your desk. Warranty and customer support are a lot better with these higher end companies, but that doesn't mean that everyone's experience is perfect. I still read horror stories, but these are outliers, not the norm. The last price bracket will be $500, and I'm going to be using the Secret Lab Titan Softweave, which is $429, the Secret Lab Titan XL, which is $479, and the Vertigear PL 4500, which is $489. You have to remember that these prices fluctuate all the time depending on sales and temporary price cuts. For looks, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. These chairs are very similar to the last price point. High quality fabric, lots of design options, and the ability to really get flashy or more professional. The reason I give it a full 5 is because there are a lot of brands that have more unique looking chairs that move away from the aggressive winged racing style. The Titans, for example, have flat edges and solid colors that look sleek and professional. I don't have one, but the Razer Isker is also in this price range and has a very unique look to it. Overall, they look like premium, good-looking chairs when compared to their cheaper alternatives, but I do admit that this difference may not come across in videos or photos. In person, though, it's very nice. For comfort and ergonomics, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. This is getting a higher score than the last price point despite being very similar for one reason that I've already mentioned. These chairs tend to be expensive because of their size. They are big boy chairs meant for bigger people or for people who want more breathing room. Because of this, the restrictive wings are gone and you have more space to spread out or sit in various positions. You can sit cross-legged or with one leg under the other, move around in your chair, or recline back to the point where you're practically laying down. You have the space to do it. Also, most of the brands at this price point do away with the annoying pillows, but kind of. The Titan and the Razor Isker have internal adjustable lumbar support, but they still have neck pillows. All the adjustments from the previous chairs is also here, so it's just got everything that you could want from a gaming chair. For build quality, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. At this price point, you can expect a solidly built chair. These things are heavy. The seams are solid, the materials are high quality, you're getting a metal base, and the hardware feels like part of the design as opposed to some bolts that you slap on the thing. A chair this expensive should last you many years. Also, because this price point tends to be for larger people, they're usually sturdier and they don't feel like they're going to break easily. Assembly is easy and the packaging is really premium. For features, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Chairs this expensive are going to be very adjustable, and that's something that you really want in a chair. Internal lumbar support, super adjustable armrests, it can recline all the way back, it can tilt, height adjustments, which can be locked, all sorts of ways to get it just right for your setup. The Vertigear also has the option for an RGB upgrade that goes into the top of the seat, but it's terribly expensive. The point is that you have options and extras to really make the chair kind of unique to you. My total score for this price range is a perfect 20. You get what you pay for at this price point, and you can expect a solidly built, comfortable chair that will last for many years. There are some improvements from the $400 price point, but mostly this price point is for larger people who need bigger, sturdier chairs. And that's exactly what you get. So if you're keeping score at home, then we've got the $100 chair with a score of 6 out of 20 or 1.5 out of 5, the $200 chair with a score of 10 out of 20 or 2.5 out of 5, the $300 chair with a score of 13 out of 20 or 3.25 out of 5, the $400 chair with a score of 18 out of 20 or 4.5 out of 5, and finally the $500 chair with a perfect score. Diminishing return is a real thing. More expensive oftentimes means more quality, but is it enough additional quality to justify the additional price? That's not something that I can answer for you. It's going to depend on your budget and what you value in a chair, what you're looking for. Hopefully this video gives you enough information to make that decision. Personally, I bought the $500 chair way back when I was looking for a chair because I wanted to buy one and be done. If I was on a budget though, I'd probably save my money until I could shop around at the $300 range, as that seems like the best bang for your buck. I want to do the same video idea with ergonomic chairs as well, but a project like this requires a ton of coordination and relies on the generosity of multiple companies. I can't buy all these chairs. I've reached out to companies to make this a reality, and some have declined and many have just flat out not responded. So do me a favor, drop a comment below on ergo chairs that you would like to see in a video like this, and let companies know that they should get in touch with me and get in on this project. If you don't want to spend your time tweeting at companies, then the best thing that you can do is subscribe to the channel and like this video. Most of these companies look at metrics like this to decide whether they want to send products out to review. So the more of you that subscribe and watch and support the channel, the more I get to keep making videos and more companies will want to work with me. So I appreciate everything and I hope this video is super helpful. I will catch you in the next one. Peace! Someone's working on this generator downstairs.